Former MP Jolan Silver picked up by detectives in relation to wife's murder. Former St. Mary Western Member of Parliament Jolan Silvero has been picked up by detectives of the Major Investigations Division for questioning in relation to the murder of his wife. Melissa Silvera died in November, and initial reports suggested she had died in her sleep. However, an autopsy later revealed that at least 3 bullet fragments were found in Mrs. Silvera's body. The police then said it has launched a murder investigation into her death. Donnelly Donaldson's credit card recently used at hotel in Portland, defense lawyer reveals. It has emerged that a credit card belonging to social media influencer Donnelly Donaldson, who went missing in 2022, was recently used at a hotel in Portland. This was revealed by defense attorney Christopher Thousand during case management hearing in the Home Circuit Court on Wednesday morning. Mr. Thousand is representing Ms. Donaldson's boyfriend, Constable Noel Maitland, who is to stand trial for her murder. Prior to Wednesday's adjournment, Mr. Thousand told presiding judge Justice Vinette Graham Allen that the card was used at a particular hotel in Portland and that he would like to view footage from the hotel. The prosecution is to secure the footage and disclose it to the defense on or before July 1, 2024. Mr. Maitland is to stand trial on April 7, 2025. The trial is expected to last 8 weeks. A trial readiness hearing date was set for January 14, 2025. The prosecution has indicated that its case file is complete. The list of witnesses the prosecution will rely on was disclosed to Mr. Maitland's legal team, but no statements nor facts were agreed on. The case is based on circumstantial evidence. Mr. Maitland's fate will be in the hands of a panel of jurors. He was further remanded. Mr. Maitland is charged with murder and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse. 24-year-old social media influencer Donnelly Donaldson went missing on July 13, 2022, after she was last seen at Mr. Maitland's home 2 days earlier. Golden condemns knife attack on PNP constable, renews call for close protection officers. Opposition leader Mark Golden is echoing the call for close protection officers for councillors and increased security presence at municipal corporation buildings. His call comes after security concerns were raised by Sydney Rose, People's National Party councillor for the Treadways Division in St. Catherine, following attack on his colleague councillor Patricia Harris. Councillor Harris represents the Angels Division in the parish. She was attacked Wednesday by an unknown assailant over a parking spot on the compound of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. The council received injuries to her face. Mr. Golden says the incident has created a greater sense of urgency around security issues. Our country is an unruly place. It's not a safe place now. So elected officials, they need to have protection as well, especially if they are at risk, Some are more at risk than others, and I think they should be assessed, and those that are assessed as having serious elevated risk levels ought to be protected, and also public facilities in areas where these persons are more likely to happen also need to have proper security, he suggested. The opposition leader said despite the attack, Councillor Harris remains in high spirit ahead of the anticipated local government election. She is still receiving medical care, but she is not in an hospital any longer. She is not deterred. I spoke with her just a while ago, and she is in strong spirit, and she is going to continue to present the people of Angels Division well. She is moving forward, and she knows she faces an election soon, which she intends to win, so she is a very strong lady, he stated. 2 policemen fined for collecting money for illegal cashpot vendor. A police sergeant and a constable who were arrested and charged last year after collecting more than $30,000 from a woman who was allegedly selling illegal cashpot have been fined $250,000. If the fine is not paid, the cops will have to serve 6 months behind bars. They were taken into custody by the Inspectorate and Professional Standard Oversight Bureau. The Bureau is the arm of the Jamaica Constabulary Force that investigates corruption and other acts of impropriety by police personnel. It's reported that the officers took the money from the woman who was on Princess Street in downtown Kingston. They also demanded $60,000 and took her in the vehicle to her home. She said she reported borrowed $5,000, which she gave the cops. The Bureau was contacted and the policemen reportedly found with the cash. Prime Minister Holness says bill to establish Portmore as a parish is ready, but won't be passed in Parliament to avoid political accusations. Though the bill to establish Portmore as Jamaica's 15th parish is reportedly ready, Prime Minister on Holness says to avoid political wrangling, it will not be passed in Parliament. Mr. Holness reiterated that the push for Portmore to be declared as a parish is not for a voting advantage, but rather to allow the area to have its own political administration. The comment comes in the wake of concern from the opposition about how the government is handling the push to make Portmore a parish. The opposition has cited a lack of adequate consultation and lack of buy-in from residents, among other issues. However, Mr. Holness says Portmore is evolving and the government is facilitating the process of transition. He assures that there is nothing to fear. He further stated that a similar situation is happening in the Great Westmoreland, where the area evolving into its own political identity. He notes this may soon lead to it being considered to manage its own affairs.
The government seeking to create a new political administration for Portmore has nothing to do with trying to gain a political advantage. Now, I've used political in two senses. One sense is the contest for power, and the other sense is the administration of the affairs of the people, the participation of the people in the administration of their affairs. Portmore has reached the point, and has reached that point long ago, where we must now provide for the proper administration of its affairs. Its economic, social, cultural, infrastructure, security, all the local affairs. The flip side to it is that in the current structure, Portmore councillors get to vote on the affairs of the other areas of the parish. And, even councillors on the other side have quietly complained and whispered about that. So all we are trying to do is to move to the logical next step. That's it. So there's nothing to fear. So the issue at play here is whether or not we're going to do this in a local government election. No. I said it Sunday, I'll say it again clearly. Our bill is ready to go to Parliament. We were ready for a little while now. We will not take it to Parliament. We will probably go to Parliament, we'll table it, but we will not pass it. Because there is no way that we could seek to establish a parish and it be clouded in political accusations. No. So we would never do that. And I want the people of Portmore to be assured of that.
St. James Terrapier man charged with murder after intervening in dispute. 30-year-old of the Ebanks, a Terrapier man of Portmore in Orange, St. James, has been charged with murder after his intervention in a dispute led to the death of a man on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as 40-year-old Santino Plummer, a laborer of Lilliput, St. James. About 11:30 p.m., Plummer reported he went to a football field to conduct a business transaction, during which an argument developed with a woman and Ebanks intervened. The quarrel between the two men became physical, and it is alleged that Ebanks used a stone to strike Plummer. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, the deceased man was seen lying face down in a pool of blood with an injury to the head. Ebanks, who was also seen running from the scene, was chased and held by the police. He was taken into custody, where he was charged following a question and answer session. KSAMC sets new rule for building inspections. Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Deborah Williams, says the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, will no longer allow single officers to conduct inspections of any building development. We are now using multiple officers, and when you have multiple officers doing inspections for something to go through that does not meet the requirements, it would have involved collision, he stated. Mayor Williams said that this was among decisions taken by the KSAMC Building Committee, which has so far resulted in the indictment of 2 senior members of staff. He added that the corporation is continuing investigations that could lead to the induction of 2 more officers based on the results so far. However, the names of those affected could not be revealed for judicial reasons. The mayor noted that the inductions are outside of the purview of the KSAMC, which has done its investigations and turned over its documents arising from those investigations and made its recommendations, which are being produced by the Services Commission, which handles covenants, including public sector employees. We have recognized that we live in a country where people are entitled to representation, and that process is beyond the KSAMC. We have no control over the process, so we have to wait for the process to be completed, but in the meantime, we have to continue to do our work, he told reporters during the hosting of a call-in program on Wednesday. The KSAMC's new rule comes in light of the controversial St. Andrew housing development undertaken by suspected National Water Commission NWC boss Mark Barnett and his wife, which is the subject of an internal corporation investigation. The investigation is checking records, inspections, and approval related to the construction of the apartment complex at 11 Chalmont Drive in Hope Pastures. Mayor Williams meanwhile charged that there have been misrepresentation in the media regarding the corporation and the controversial apartment complex. The KSAMC, he said, made the recommendations available to other entities that it has no control over for them to adopt measures that require crossing constitutional boundaries. He said the controversy over the Claremont Drive development has forced the KSMC to seek additional information from building applicants, contractors, which are still in the process at the corporation. We did that because previously, the people who were only being made aware of the issues and developments at the post-approval stage, and therefore, there were objections and raising issues about past approvals, the mayor admitted. Applications are now in the post on the corporation's website, which will allow people to search for other applications that are before the KSAMC and in the processing stage. He said that this was necessary if they are able to raise concerns or objections while applications are being processed. And we have made that very clear that no application should enter the building committee for decision-making without the objections and concerns raised by residents and placed before the committee, the mayor told reporters. Minor leaders in the KSAMC Councillor Andrew Swaby, however, argued that the investigation by the corporation surrounding construction of the multi-family residential development on Chalmont Drive, Kingston 6, has come a few years too late. He criticized Mayor Williams by expressing his disappointment with what he described as a lack of urgency on the mayor's part to deal with issues within the municipality as they arise. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.